You tag the quarterback, they're not live, don't want to get anybody hurt today.
Yeah, all the yellow jerseys you can't hit. That's why I have a yellow shirt on up here.
I won't hit you, Matt, I promise. And no returns as well as Ryan Capriotti got us started. We'll have a kickoff to begin each half, and the ball will just come out to the 35-yard line after scores today.
Now, interestingly, as a player here, now you know this to the people who are here, and there are not very many with the weather, but the people who are here, you're looking at this as like more like a kind of almost a game, but it's not really a game. The problem with the players is this is still a scrimmage, and they have to understand that what you put on tape counts. That's why it's a big deal.
Yeah, still a different look for these players. And Christian Martin at quarterback. Quarterback for the white team today. He goes outside and completes his first pass to Jamari Powell-Wunson, the redshirt freshman out of Baltimore City High School. Matt, what are you looking for out of the quarterbacks today?
Well, you want to see accuracy all the time. You want to see strength of arm, but most important is decision-making. Quarterback is a position of decision-making under pressure.
And this is a handoff. Iverson Howard with his first carry, and it's enough for a first down. The freshman out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. 3 running backs that really could be featured at the top of the Terps this year, including Howard.
Yeah, and they will do as well as that offensive line, which is really completely retooled from a year ago. They'll do as well as that offensive line allows them to do.
Returning just 2 starters on the right side. And Martin's taking a deep shot down the sideline. Mekhi White pulls it in.
Nice adjustment by White at the end of that throw. They were even, defender and receiver. And he does a nice adjustment. You're going to watch him. Here's the throw. He puts it up for grabs, right? So now watch the adjustment. See, he comes back to the football. The defender kept on drifting, and that's the difference in the play.
Over the top of Ricardo Cooper Jr., a 42-yard pickup, and it's back to the ground with Howard. You can see the ability with Martin. He's big, he's strong, and clearly a live arm as well.
Yeah, he's a big kid. He's 230 pounds. He's 6'4". I mean, they're all 6'4", so they all have good vision. Well, you would expect that. The difference, though, sometimes it just takes time to be able to see coverages.
And Howard is stood up in the backfield. There's Sidney Stewart coming in for the tackle. What you saw from him on film over the last couple of weeks, really impressive.
Yeah, he's a good player. That kid, he gets off the ball well, he runs well, he has good instincts. And at the point, which is important, you have to, and when I say at the point, that's when they're running at you, he has the ability to be able to sit down and anchor.
Now, 3rd and long here. Martin flushed out to his right, fires over the middle, it's on target, and a touchdown.
Accuracy, that's what you have to have. And that's exactly what he was. Well done.
15-yard completion to White, who had the 42-yard pickup earlier in the drive.
You're going to watch this. This is just a nice job on the run. He's familiar with it. Oh, nice throw. In front of the defender. The defender could have had a little bit better effort to come at that. Watch this ball right here to the right. Nice job. Comes back, catch that ball, and gets into the end zone.
Carlton Smith, the linebacker closest, got laid out, but an opening drive touchdown for the white team, and this is the second teamers on the offensive side. And the extra point is good for Ryan Capriotti, who is a prime candidate to replace Jack Howes, who went to the transfer portal earlier this week. Maryland lost 51% of its production from last year, 32 players into the portal. Like you said earlier, Matt, there is a lot to replace, but we've already seen some of the young talent on display, like Mekhi White.
So look, every team, as they're getting put together, there are 2 things that you have got to have. If you don't have a quarterback, number 1, you don't have a chance. They have a chance. Number 2, your offensive line. That is the key. Your offensive line, if you can protect and if you can run block, you have a chance. If you can't do those things, then you got to get really, as a coach, you got to be able to stir up the pot pretty good.
Yeah,
you got to get creative. Yep.
Yeah, Pep Hamilton might have to get into his bag a little bit. Now, we won't see that much today. Very vanilla on both sides.
Yeah, so what you want to see, he talked about it, it's fundamentals. You want to see the fundamentals, especially the run game and the passing game. Up front is the biggest key.
Now you see the white team offense back out there with Christian Martin. The goal for Mike Locksley is to get 4 8+ play drives, and he wants to see a few more out of the white team offense. Mike Locksley holds the ultimate trump card on how the format will go today. As Martin flips it outside, and his first incompletion intended for Emerson Smith, the redshirt freshman out of Vermont.
Now, the one thing you're looking for here in the spring game on the defensive side, number one, if you don't have pass rushers, you don't have a chance. So you want to see if they can develop a young pass rusher or any pass rusher. And the second thing is your coverage. Can you lock up in man coverage? And what kind of zones do you play? Are you comfortable in your zone coverages and drops?
And talking to Mike Locksley yesterday, he thinks that the pass rush will improve drastically this year under Ted Monachino. Martin guns it over the middle. It's complete to Josiah McLaurin, the sophomore, with his first catch across midfield. It's a
classic. Play action to the right, come back to the left. You're pulling all your defenders to one side, and you can get inside that safety. See how everybody's sliding to the left? He's going to come to the backside because that defender is on his hip. You just got to be accurate with the throw, and you have a play.
A smooth start for Martin here, and it's back to Howard on the ground. Strung out well, and maybe a gain of 1.
Good defense there. They did a nice job not letting anybody get outside, and like you said, they kind of strung it out very well.
Linebacker is where the most depth is expected on the defensive side this year, specifically at outside linebacker. We haven't seen Trey Reddick yet, Sidney Stewart earlier in the game, Neo Avery, some names to watch out for. As Howard dives forward for a couple. It's a defense that struggled last year for Maryland, allowing 30 points a game and gave up over 200 rushing yards a game over the last 2. Yeah. They're looking for more toughness late in the season on both sides.
Yeah, and that's from the neck up. The toughness part, that starts early too. It's hard to bring a kid in who hasn't been an aggressive kid and teach him how to be aggressive. That's usually doesn't work. You got to get it. Got to get that pup that bites.
Like you back in the day.
No, maybe.
Just a little bit. 3rd down and 6. Martin with a good start today, and he connects with Thomas McCluskey for a first down. Redshirt sophomore is yet to play in a game in the fall through 2 seasons at Maryland and part of a brand new tight end group.
Martin looks very comfortable right here. He's just in the pocket. He's setting. He knows where he is. Just take your good old time and make that throw be accurate. Well done.
Just 1 incompletion for Martin to start here, and a touchdown as well, as Howard scampers for 3. If there's one thing about Maryland football that people know, is they can sling it.
They always could. I mean, you go back a long way, they always threw the football. Bob Avellini threw the ball around really well back when I was a kid. And then all the way through Boomer and a bunch of guys. They've always had guys who've had good arms.
And Billy Edwards Jr. recently transferring to Wisconsin. Just shy of the sticks and outside of the 25. Second catch for McLaurin. Martin's completed a couple of 3rd down passes already, and it's 3rd and short.
I was just going to say he's pretty accurate with the ball. The ball comes out. He doesn't rush himself. You can see he sets. He's comfortable in the pocket. Maybe that yellow jersey helps him. I don't know, but he looks pretty good to me.
And Howard helps him out across the 20. First down gain. Down to the 18. And the white offense looking for another touchdown after the 8-yard run.
And we got somebody down here.
The last thing that Mike Locksley and the coaching staff wants to see, it's Kiari James hobbling off the field, the sophomore from Alberta.
The linebacker, 6'1", about 235 to 40 pounds, about what you want. Can run really well. Right now, looks like he'd be all right. He's just kind of hobbling a little bit. but he's walking on it.
And to reduce some of the physical toll, spring practices this year for Maryland were a little bit lighter, more walkthroughs and less tackling than normal.
Yeah, which is a departure back from the day, right? The spring was the worst. Like it was a meat grinder every day.
First down throw for Martin. Fade to the end zone, going up top, and it's caught.
Is he in? Touchdown.
White got his feet in for his second touchdown.
That was a nice, really well-thrown ball. And White does a good job at the end, and the top of that, catching it at its high point. Really well done.
What a start from Mekhi White, linking up with Christian Martin, a dynamic combination.
I like Martin. Martin just comfortable right there. That's a perfect throw. I mean, that's a perfect throw. He got 1 foot in, and then the other one was out, but that 1 foot in is all that matters in college football. Right there. That's 6. A great throw.
2 touchdowns on 2 drives for the second team offense, and Mekhi White just might be a guy this fall.
Well, they need them. That's exactly what they're going to need, because people are gone. You got to refill those shelves. Maryland football has always been really tough football ever since I can remember. You go to, you're going to, having covered them and having played against them, you show up against Maryland, it's one of those tough games all day, all the way through. The difference is, can you be it for 60 minutes? That's what they need to be able to be.
And it's not able to close it out down the stretch of last season. You saw the statistics for Christian Martin, and we led off the show talking about Justin Martin, Malik Washington. Christian Martin having himself a day so far. And here's our first look at Justin Martin, the transfer from UCLA. A pass behind DeJuan Williams and a loss of 2 on the play.
I liked him on film. You can see he has some experience. He knows what he's doing with his eyes. He tries to move defenders. He understands that the coverages pretty darn well, and then they're basic, so that's fine. But the ball comes out of his hands pretty darn well.
Fresh start for him on the opposite coast. Here's the rollout and the pitch into the flat. Connection with the tight end Leon Houghton Jr., who had 3 catches over the last 3 seasons, switching from wide receiver to tight end last season. But Justin Martin has a little bit more mobility than Malik Washington. That's going to be a big separating factor, perhaps, in this QB battle.
Yeah, and you can see that there. They're gonna roll him, get him outside the pocket, let him use his vision and then his speed as well, and then it also can get him out of trouble if you get some pressure.
3rd down and 9 on the first series for Justin Martin. Looking over the middle. And it's broken up beautifully by Dante Joyner, the Arkansas State transfer.
Nice break by Dante Joyner. That ball was a bullet. Joyner, he closed on it pretty darn fast. You're going to watch him over to your left here. Right there. Boom. That's nice. Nice position with his hands. You're going to see the top on his right arm. You already start to go for the tackle, and your left arm, you come around and knock it down. Well done.
Coach is high on Joyner and Wake Forest transfer Jamari Glasker. And we will see a punt. Again, Mike Locksley not afraid to restart drives if they're not long enough. If anything, a chance for the special teams to get in on the action. No returns expected today.
That was a heck of a punt, by the way.
That was deep inside. Hey, he's one of the few experienced players they actually have coming back. A 55-yard punt. And Justin Martin will restart it here, finding Octavian Smith Jr. for no gain. And Octavian Smith Jr. High expectations for him to be the top receiver this year and perhaps replace the production of Ty Felton, who was just drafted yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations to Ty. Good player.
Taken by the Vikings, last pick of the 3rd round, and an All-American last season for Maryland.
Octavian has the ability. He has the ability to beat you with his speed. But he's also done a pretty good job in the run game and blocking.
Run for DeJuan Williams going up the middle, and Teifelt cut a lot of footballs from Billy Edwards Jr. last year. 96 catches, a Maryland record.
So what you need to know about players, so when you're getting ready for the game and they say this is the guy you have to stop for this offense, that was Teifelt. That's a compliment from the coaches and a compliment to his skill set.
Receivers and quarterbacks. Maryland seemed to do them well quite a bit. Looking back at Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore.
They've always had good kids. And Octavian Smith is cut from the cloth.
And what a catch for Williams. He was out of bounds, but you saw the arm strength there.
He must have
for Justin Martin.
Tried to get his foot down. Must have just missed it. That was a heck of a throw as well. Let's see if he watches. Goes up to get it. I can't quite see it. Yep, he's out.
Still impressive hands, and the coaching staff, they feel like DeJuan Williams can do a lot of different things well. He's good in protection, catch it out of the backfield, and win one-on-one matchups.
What I'm watching here, they haven't gotten any pressure on the quarterback, which means one of two things. Either you don't have a pass rusher or your offensive line's playing really well.
Good protection here for Martin again. Late pressure, allowing Martin to circle out and try to run for the first down. Not totally clear if he would have gotten it in real game action, but
yeah, Neo Avery, he got there, and so I don't know what he's going to do, if he's moving the chains or not.
Class coming out of nearby Glen Burnie, Maryland. National spotlight on this hometown superstar as Octavian Smith is wrestled down in the backfield.
That was a great job. Really well done by Jalen Husky. He read it right away. As soon as he saw the quarterback turn, he was on his horse. He was able to beat the blocker and then come through with the tackle. Nice play.
Ted Monachino very complimentary of him and LeVan Scruggs at safety, elevating their games while bringing the younger guys along, setting up 3rd and long for Washington.
Yeah, what you notice with those safeties, they both can run. They cover a lot of ground. You saw that right there when he closed on that.
Washington looking short.
Screen
for Williams. Lots of space across midfield, and he's got the first down.
So it was nicely done by Keyshawn Flowers. Did a nice job of turning it back inside. That's what you're supposed to do. Now you got to get everybody, you got to get on your horse, come from inside out. They weren't able to get there.
16-yard pickup for Williams, and the drive extends for the freshman Malik Washington out of Archbishop Spalding High School, about 25 minutes south of Baltimore. First down from the 42. Washington over the middle, Dorian Fleming, the tight end, and transfer plowing through tackles inside of the 20.
Nice job by Fleming. Decent route. He gets the guy on his hip. All you need is an accurate ball, and the ball was right where it needed to be.
That's a pretty common theme from the film you saw from Malik Washington.
Yeah, exactly. He's, hey, without accuracy, you can't play. So he's got good accuracy. He looks like he's comfortable in the pocket. He shows you all the signs that you need to be a successful quarterback.
24-yard pickup to the 18. The Georgia State transfer. Washington got time, and he'll choose the legs and pick up some positive yardage.
Yep, nothing there. Get it, take it with your feet. Does just that.
Mike Locksley raves about his maturity. And look, Mike Locksley's coached some great quarterbacks. He said he's got the similar tools and maturity of Jalen Hurts.
And I think that you either have that or you don't. It's not like you can develop it. And so he's kind of chill. And that's what you like to see from a quarterback. That's position in particular.
Give off to Williams, right up the gut, reaching for the goal line and just short. Was he down?
He's down.
Yes. It looked like that arm and knee came down, and the ball will be marked at the 1.
So nicely done by the offensive line. You can see where the hole that's right there.
Clearly down for Williams. Redshirting last season, played in 3 games, did have a touchdown in the season opener against UConn, and perhaps a touchdown coming here on 1st and goal. Washington under center. Throw in right along the goal line for the touchdown. We might see that combination a lot this year with Washington to Octavian Smith Jr.
Nice job by Washington. He did a really nice job of understanding when to get the ball to him. So a lot of times they wait on this. Now right there, that thing, he has the advantage. The defender's not there. Get rid of the ball right away. Some guys wait a little bit to see if they're open. And in that little instance, you can close the gap. Well done. Good timing.
A touchdown for Washington, 2 for Christian Martin. And Octavian Smith Jr., the top returning receiver. Pep Hamilton said he's got T.Y. Hilton skills and a little bit stronger too.
Which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
Now T.Y.'s got he's got some good skills.
Of course, Pep Hamilton coached T.Y. Hilton, Andrew Luck, when he was the offensive coordinator with the Colts. And let's check in with McKella.
Thanks, Jack. I've got new men's basketball head coach Buzz Williams with me. Just over 3 weeks since you've been hired. How's the transition been?
We're working really hard. It's been fast. I'm still living at the hotel on campus and work as much as we can. We're getting our staff here. We're putting together our roster, trying to finish our non-conference schedule. So there's a lot of work, but we're excited for the opportunity.
What are some of the next milestones to look out for as you get ready for summer sessions and then heading into next season?
Yeah, I think we just got to continue on the path that we're on. We've signed a lot of players. We still have to sign some more. We've scheduled several non-conference games. We still need to make a few more. Yesterday, the Big Ten let us know our opponents, mirror, and 1-play and 2-play. And then same with our staff. We've got some of our staff that are here, but we have a few more that we've got to get here.
For Maryland fans, what kind of style of play are you looking to implement?
Well, the style will depend upon how our roster finishes up. I like the pieces that we've added. More importantly, I like the people that we've added, not only to our roster but also to our staff. I think we'll have to spend some time this summer studying a little bit about what's happened in the Big Ten, but also better understanding our team.
I know you have a relationship with legendary head coach Gary Williams. What's your relationship been like with him? Have you gotten to spend any time? You got any golf sessions coming up?
Maybe when we get our roster finished, I will. I have talked to Coach once a week since I've been here. I have great respect and honor for what he's done and admiration. And he's been incredibly kind to me. And I'm looking forward to getting to know him better. We just, as he knows, we've got to do this work first.
Thanks so much, Coach. Enjoy the game.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think Buzz is going to like that trick play we just saw.
I think Buzz is going to do a great job down here in Maryland. Maryland's always been a great basketball school. Always enjoyed watching the Terps play.
Long pickup for Colin Reynolds. Yeah, he's won everywhere he's gone, Buzz Williams. Marquette took Virginia Tech to a Sweet 16, and great season again with Texas A&M last year.
I liked his answer. It's a universal answer for all of sports. What kind of offense you going to run? What kind of scheme you going to run? I'll know when the players tell me. Pretty much is what he's saying. You can only do what your players are capable of. It's not what you think they can do. It's what they can do. And really, that's what they're finding out right now here in this spring.
Yeah, the new coordinators, Ted Monachino, Pep Hamilton, tons of NFL experience, getting their first look at game-like action. And whistles blow as Christian Martin will be ruled down at the 32.5.
And I think, you know, that's those new coordinators, that's a big deal. That's what I'm talking about in learning your people. So a lot of times, look, a guy can get up on a board, a coach can get up on a board, he can X and O you to death. And they'll always work. The play will always be drawn up that it's going to work. What happens is when you ask guys to do things that they're not capable of doing, it doesn't work. I don't care how good the scheme is. So you have to know your players, and you have to know them pretty darn well. And that's why spring is so important in football.
Looks like Christian Martin is capable of a lot. Shed the tackle for Josiah McLaurin down near the 15. Gain of 17, his third catch, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're looking for. You know, so can he throw on the run? Is he calm in the pocket? Does he make good decisions? Decision making is a big deal. How accurate is he? All those things go into that quarterback pile. And then how does he work with the offensive line? Are they protected? Is it a stronger offensive line? You're going to have to move things. There's all kinds of stuff you have to pick and pay attention to. All small details.
First down to the end zone over the head of McLaurin. And a reminder, this is the second team offense on the white team. And they have been running up and down the field so far.
Yeah, against the first team defense. And you don't see much of a pass rush, which is a concern. And there's time to throw. So when you have time to throw, you have time to run. When you have time to run, you can expand that route just a little bit more.
Second and long for Martin under center. And he'll roll it out. Throw to the tight end, incomplete. A.J. Szymanski, Jr. not able to make the catch.
That's the first poor throw that he's had.
A little bit behind him.
Threw it behind him.
There's Ted Monachino, former defensive coordinator with the Colts and defensive line coach at North Carolina this past year.
Teddy knows what he's doing. And look, and they're not showing for him. You're having basic zone coverages here and a little bit of man, and that's it. And so you're not blitzing, you're not showing any kind of thing that you have. So all you're trying to do is see if they can block and tackle pretty much.
Third down for Martin. And ruled down. Officially a sack in the spring game as the pressure got to him. So Christian Martin does not end this drive in a touchdown after his first two went for 6. It's still a very impressive showing so far from the redshirt freshman out of Highland Springs High School.
He's been the whole show right now.
And we saw a touchdown for Washington. Not much from Justin Martin so far. And a field goal for Capriati. It's good. Trying to replace Jack Howes, the kicker for the last couple of years. 34-yard try is through for a kicker that has not attempted a field goal in his career yet. Started his career in East Carolina as a walk-on. Didn't play last year, and shaken up with Andre Powell, the new special teams coordinator here at Maryland. And a very new coaching staff all around, new offense, a lot to figure out over the next several months, and even based on last week when the spring portal closed yesterday.
That's the game changer in college football, has been the portal. The portal and nil money. And we'll leave it at that.
Can you even fathom that from your time at Penn State?
Well, you saw it was coming. You know that. I mean, something had to be done. But now that they've opened the door, they've unleashed a monster, and so something needs to be done yet again. It's going to turn into a have and have-nots as it rapidly is, and you don't want to see that.
And it's an interesting conundrum for Mike Locksley. You see some of the key transfers they lost. Caleb Wheatland going to Auburn, Kellen Wyatt going in conference to Indiana, Jack Howes still in the portal. Because Mike Locksley is a win your heart, win the locker room type of coach, and there's just not as much loyalty anymore, so it's harder to do that.
And he's a relationship guy. That's exactly what you're talking about. And I think Locks is a really good coach. I think if he can keep the players and keep recruiting, it's hard to recruit down here. They get a lot of good kids around here, but a lot of them go to Ohio State, a lot of them go to Penn State. The ACC is really packed with some of these kids, and so he's doing the best he can.
There's a 14-yard pass over to Sean Williams from Malik Washington. It's Washington's second drive. First one ended in a touchdown to Octavian Smith. A little too hot there for DeWanda Williams over the middle.
And a little bit behind, just a tad.
Malik Washington enrolling early at Maryland. Just finished up his senior season of football this past fall. He could still be in Algebra 2 right now at Spalding, but
he should be taking trig by now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I didn't get past Algebra 2. But he is going back for his prom in a few weeks. Great experience for him coming in the spring, so he can get some mistakes out of the way early for the fall.
That was a good decision because this kid's he's going to play.
Second down pass. Space for Washington out to his left, and all kinds of room to run for the first down.
Good decision.
Let's check in with McKellen now.
Thanks, Jack. Here with Christian Martin. Christian, off to a hot start in this spring game. What should Maryland fans know about how your style of play complements this offense?
First, I'm just happy to be here, and I think my play complements the offense just by being able to spread the ball, push the ball downfield, and still being able to utilize my legs as well, smart, able to read defenses, and, just working hard working.
How excited are you to work with this quarterback group in particular and your relationship with the other quarterbacks you're working with this season?
I'm super excited. I mean, we're all brothers. It's like we do everything together. We're first ones in, last ones out. Everybody's working hard. We're all doing what we're supposed to do, and it's been a fun competition. It's very competitive.
Thanks so much, Christian. We'll let you get back to the game.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Matt, his confidence has got to be through the roof right now.
Yeah, the thing that interests me with his answers, he's having fun. That's a big deal. So there's not a lot of stuff hanging on him. He's playing very well right now. And you can see he can throw with touch. He can put the ball where it has to be. He's pretty accurate. He's making good decisions. That's all the things you need to play at a high level.
Look, we talked about Justin Martin, Malik Washington as the front runners for this job coming in, and you can't base everything on just the spring game, but for his own confidence and just the day-to-day competition among that quarterback room, this is a really good thing.
Oh, absolutely. So the press will see this, and then this is always a plus for him, right? And the coaching staff is watching the same stuff that we're watching, but the difference is that there are 14 other practices that we haven't seen. And so I think Malik Washington, what I've watched on film and some of the scrimmages and stuff, I think he's been the one who's shows the most. He's got the most skills. But you can't take anything away. He's playing a heck of a first half here, which is done in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, inside of 2 minutes, back to conventional timing after the 2-minute warning. And Williams tripped up after a short gain. So first time we'll see Malik Washington in this kind of scenario where he has to operate with some urgency. Second and 7 at the 37 for Washington. Already a touchdown today.
Good protection.
Going deep down the sideline. Had plenty of time, and he dropped it in a bucket for Ryan Manning.
That's a heck of a catch by Manning. And you're right. It was right exactly where it needed to be. That thing dropped right in the bucket. Watch his coverage. 11 on 11, right there. Right where he has to be. See the defender staring him in the eyes? That's what you have to do. You look when he looks. The problem is he never looked. It just dropped right in.
And the play wasn't there after the quick snap, throws it away. But a 36-yard dime down the far sideline from Washington.
It's a heck of a catch. Did a really nice job with that defender. Usually on a defender, you're tight like that. You put your eyes, when you're on him, you get your eyes right on his eyes. When he looks, you look. At that particular, I can't see it from here, obviously, but it didn't look like he ever moved his head to find the ball.
Still at the 1-yard line, second and goal. Just outside of 1 minute, and an easy touchdown for Williams. So both drives for Malik Washington end in touchdowns, including a 36-yard beauty, and Williams caps it off.
A nice job up front. They did a good job of just blowing a hole in the middle of that defense. And it looked like almost looked like a walkthrough.
You like what you've seen from Malik Washington today?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with any of these what the quarterbacks have shown. They've run when they needed to run. They felt the pressure when it comes, which hasn't been a lot, but they've been accurate. They've made good decisions. That's what quarterback play is all about.
Kevin Humes was right there alongside Manning. The throw and the catch had to be perfect. And it's 17-14 now, white team in front. Christian Martin going toe-to-toe with Malik Washington. Lots going on in the spring, and tonight, don't miss softball when do-it-all superstar Jordy Ball leads 18th ranked Nebraska against Washington. Live coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
You don't know which one because there's only one who can play, but he's going to have a hard decision to make for the quarterbacks because they have the skill sets to be able to compete. What will make and break this team is how well this offensive line comes around and can protect said quarterback.
It seems like they've given some good protection all around today in the pass game.
Yeah, I don't really see a good pass rusher here.
Roman Jensen makes the catch, the 4th-string quarterback for Christian Martin. The white team trying to score for a 4th consecutive possession inside of 90 seconds. So 2 quarterbacks on the field lined up in the backfield together, Jensen and Martin. Pep Hamilton already changing it up.
There's a sack.
There was some pressure, probably a sack. It is for D.D. Holmes, redshirt freshman, Florida State transfer, and Ted Monachino very high on him as well.
Yeah, that's nice. He got on his horse on that one, had a good takeoff, and got to the edge quick.
Played in just 1 game and transferred back home. Washington, D.C. native. Third
There's
down.
Another one. Same thing. He just ran right past that tackle like he was standing still. That was good get off. Didn't use much of it. What you're gonna watch? He didn't use much of the move. He just kind of just ducked him.
We'll go around Davon Watkins, who's listed as a backup tackle. Back-to-back sacks for Holmes.
That's what they need.
14 sacks last year, last in the Big Ten.
Just a freshman, D.D. Holmes. Big kid, though, 6'6", 260 pounds, 55, 60 pounds. He's got good movement, comes off the ball nice. Consistency doing that, and you got yourself a player.
And 4th and long here. And Maryland will punt it away. If you're on the defensive staff for Maryland at this point in the spring, what are you looking for out of the defensive linemen?
If they can engage, first of all, in the run game, they have to engage and disengage, right? So you have to attack who's blocking you and then be able to shed them, disengage. And then in today's game, if you can't rush the passer, it's a long day. So you have to be able to generate some kind of a rush. You don't expect it really from an interior guy. You'd like to get pressure from them by collapsing the pocket. The guys on the outside, those are the ones who have to be able to do what Holmes just did. Just run by people and, slip arm overs or unders or whatever it is, whatever move you're using. And you have to be consistent with it. That's the biggest thing.
And the clock will run out here on the first half. 17-14, a pretty high scoring first half of the white and the red. Malik Washington and Christian Martin going back and forth. White team scoring on 3 of their 4 drives, and Washington leading 2 touchdown drives as well. For Justin compared to Christian and Malik Washington, as Justin Martin started the second half with a handoff to Williams. Jack Kaiser, Matt Millen, Michaela Chester down at the sidelines. Glad to have you with us in College Park.
There was Trey Reddick in that tackle. There's a player that I liked. I watched him on film and like what he had to do. He's got some size, outside backer, 6'3", about 2 1/4, can run. They'll need him.
Ted Monachino thinks he can make a big leap this year into a position to play all 3 downs. Another handoff. Williams is swallowed up near the line of scrimmage. And he was wrapped up by Dylan Fontes, the junior out of Brooklyn, a player that the entire defense looks to for leadership.
Well, if you're leaderless, you don't have a clue.
Yeah. And third down and long here for Justin Martin. Scrambling up the middle.
That would have been a sack. Reddick would have had him.
And Reddick in on the action again with Ian Thomas in the vicinity as well. Reminder of the rules here. It's going to be a running clock outside of scores, change of possession, even penalties. The clock will run through in the second half, and then inside of 2 minutes, we'll go back to conventional timing. Also have conventional scoring. More of a normal game than a lot of teams opt for in the spring.
With a running clock.
Yes, yes. But not a glorified practice by any means, as McPherson booms it, and McLaurin catches just inside of the 20. Another stalled drive for Justin Martin, not able to get the red team offense going, and a 44-yard punt for the transfer from Notre Dame a couple of years ago, Bryce McPherson. And
so it looks like Coach Loxley didn't like the amount of number of plays that offense had, so he's going to give it to him again. He told us yesterday, in talking to him, that if he had a series, they wanted to get at least 8 plays in. If they don't get that, they'll pull it back.
So more reps for Justin Martin, who threw for just 10 yards in the first half.
Left guard jump.
And a full start. Isaiah Wright, Ryan Howardson expected to be in contention for left guard this year for Maryland. And Wright, a redshirt senior and a transfer from Buffalo, did not play last year. He got lost to injury over the summer, but big expectations for him to step up on the left side of that line.
He's a big kid. He's 6'4", 315 or so, something like that.
And lining up with Rotrell Perry at left tackle, the Central Connecticut State transfer. Martin to throw on 1st and 15, tipped the line.
Tipped. Well done.
Was it picked?
It was tipped.
I think it was picked.
And picked.
Keyshawn Flowers able to get his hands under it. That's the first turnover today.
Looked like Faliva. Down lineman, 64.
Let's take another look at this. Yeah, there's Falivi.
Yeah.
And right to Flowers.
Yep.
Right in the breadbasket.
Just like they planned it. There's the tip. The ball came off low. That was the problem. The bigger problem was it was picked.
And Keyshawn Flowers, the sophomore who played with Malik Washington in high school at Archbishop Spalding, has the first turnover for the defense today. Martin still on the field, and Williams is tackled. LeVan Scruggs combining with DJ Samuels for the stop. All right, some defense showing life here in the second half after an offensive first.
That was nice by Scruggs. They came on a blitz from the outside and just kept on running. He just ran him down from behind. Well done.
Second and long for Martin, trying to lead his first scoring drive of the day. The transfer from UCLA, Octavian Smith Jr. Tackled in the backfield by Jamari Glasker.
Glasker read it perfectly. And he was also able to get past the blocker and make the tackle. 2 really good defensive plays in a row.
Ted Monachino's got to like it. New defensive coordinator. More pressure all around expected this year for the defense with Monachino. We'll see mixture of man, zone, and pressure a lot this season.
Well, they're just rushing 3 now, and they're dropping 8.
On third and long. Martin looking deep, taking a shot. He's got a man, but overthrows him. Ryan Manning running down the sideline, and Martin not able to connect.
Martin misjudged where the sideline was. You have to know your field. And that receiver's got to give himself a little bit of room to be able to adjust on that ball. It appears that he did. It was just an overthrow.
So there's things to correct from both the receiver and quarterback standpoint there.
Yeah, I mean, when you're running a go route like that and you have the receiver, first thing, you got to use all speed from the start. Get him on your hip. If you can get him on your hip, then you got to position yourself to give yourself a little bit of room, because you have to have an aiming point for that quarterback to be able to throw it on the sideline.
Another big punt for McPherson, 53 yards. And conversation between Malik Washington, Justin Martin. And a reminder right now, get $4 off Big Ten Plus monthly subscriptions and stream the remainder of the non-televised spring season. Scan the QR code on the screen. Go to Big10Plus.com to subscribe, and make sure you enter Spring 4 when selecting a monthly pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer. All right, back to the white team offense, and looks like Christian Martin, who's led 3 scoring drives so far out of 4 in the first half. The redshirt freshman not really a part of the media conversation for who's going to be in contention to win the starting job, but Christian Martin fantastic so far. We'll see if he can keep it up. First play of the drive, and a little bit out of the reach of Jamari Powell-Watson.
You know, it's interesting when we're watching this, the offensive line is Trevor Szymanski, the center for the white team. He's one of the guys who stood out for me when I was watching him. You could see he's a smart kid. Centers are always usually your smartest guy on the offensive line. They control everything, and he has that. And he's got an ability to be able to kick his hips pretty well. He did it right there on that play. I think they like him, and I think this kid has an opportunity when he needs to get stronger, but he's got something to him.
A.J. Szymanski's younger brother, the tight end. Who's the smartest center that you coached or played against?
There's we had a lot of good ones, but Dominic Raiola, actually his son's playing. Dominic was really smart. I mean, really smart. And so generally that's one of the guys that, look, the center usually runs the whole offensive line. And so you have to be able to communicate well, and you have to be sharp.
Keeper for Martin, Sidney Stewart, went with Howard. And Martin able to pick up some positive yards after a 15-yard completion moments ago. Second and 7 at the 43 here in the middle of the third quarter. Howard to catch out of the backfield across midfield and delivering some punishment as well to Shamar McIntosh.
Yeah, I don't know what that dark jersey, that black jersey means, but I think it means don't come over and try to hit me, I'll run you over.
I think you could have used one when you were at Penn State.
Yeah, man.
That was your MO.
We had nothing but white and blue, that's it.
First down pickup for Howard, the talented freshman out of Quince Orchard High School. And another carry for him. His nickname is Rocket, maybe not based on the speed, but some of the power behind it. Him, DeJuan Williams, Colin Reynolds, the 3 active running backs today, but Nolan Ray especially, alongside Eli Mason, will also be in contention here for the running back spot.
Flag is down.
Flag down, but it's a perfect throw for Martin to White again. We'll see if it's coming back, but that combination has been fantastic today.
That was a great throw by Christian Martin. Again, right where it needs to be. And he puts enough air on top of it. That was really well thrown.
Maybe an offsides call. The line jumping, but on we go into the red zone. A 34-yard pickup.
No, it was red jump 29, my guy. Sid Stewart.
Now offsides on Stewart, and Martin with another big completion down to the 11. Let's see if he can pick up a third touchdown. Rolling to his right, to the sideline, and out of the reach of Jamari Powell once.
Yes,
and
somebody made a mistake right there, either the receiver or the quarterback.
He's missed on that throw a couple of times today. And let's go to McKella.
All right, we're going to give you guys a little break in the booth because Coach Locks is going to be our analyst here. What are we looking for on this play and this drive?
Sounds like we're going to go with a 5-man protection, and we're going to run Z on the fade here. So this is Pep using personnel to try to take advantage of a matchup. So I would take the camera and put it over here on the left side. We'll have a pretty good matchup now. I doubt that he'll be able to work it because we got Cloud over here with number 8 is the Z here. So he worked opposite. He's got the fade back corner fall out of bounds. Never in the history of football has there been a completion out of bounds. What we wanted to do there was create a one-on-one in the boundary. They gave us cloud coverage there, which gave us numbers to the field, which allowed Christian to work a high-low on the backside there. We're in the red area. The velocities, touchdown, check down for the quarterback. We're in field goal range, so we want to take care of the football here, but we want to be really quick and fast with our decision and taking a shot in the end zone to find the touchdown throw. If it's not there, get the ball checked down so that we can find a way to get points with this drive. Christian's done a really good job of managing this 2-unit.
All right, what are we going for here now? And I wanted to say you're going for match job here. And the camera director, because you got camera on the left.
We got heavy people in here. We got 12 personnel. Under center, I think we're going to probably run the ball here. He's going opposite. Oh, naked. A little naked. Got jammed up. Quarterback's going to run it. Yellow jersey. All right, let's get this one. We're going 2nd and goal. We're going 11 personnel.
All right, we got left.
This is with the quarterback in here.
Ex-Panther, Z Slay.
Okay.
300 ex-Panther, Z Slay.
So this is just quick game here. So we got a 2nd and goal at the ball's at the 6. So he's going to work a slant concept to the field, and he's got arrow slant to the boundary. He went 4 open. So what he's going to do is pick and stick. So he's picking man coverage. He's working to the boundary. He took the back in the backfield, made a guy tackle down at the 1-yard line. He worked his slant into the boundary, got the back in the flat. Really quick, smart decision. On our quick game, he has to pick and stick on the side. He had man coverage. He had a chance to work it. He did a good job here.
What are you seeing from what Pep's been bringing to this offense?
I think the big thing with Christian is just he's shown the ability okay. Did he catch? All right, touchdown. This is the 3rd drive I think Christian's had where he's ended it with scores. When you get into a quarterback battle for us, it's who gives us the best chance to score points. And I can tell you Christian Martin with his group, the white offense, he's had about 4 drives, and I think 3 of the 4 have been touchdown drives. So kudos to Christian for having a good understanding of what we want to get accomplished. We're in our base system in this game, and he's been operating at a high level.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for breaking it down. Pretty good analyst, if I do say so.
Yeah, hopefully I don't have to do this too soon.
I agree. Jack.
Yeah, look, Matt, I'm not trying to, force you out here, but can we do more of that with Coach Locksley?
Yeah, so here's the problem. All you people at home, how many people understood what he was talking about? Not very many. I love the fact when he starts talking about numbers, because football's all about numbers, right? And it's the number of people that are in how you deploy them, like where they're lined up. And that's what he was talking about.
You heard him mention 12 personnel. That's a staple for Pep Hamilton that we're going to see.
Yeah, 2 tights. And that happens. It's all about numbers. Even the personnel is numbers.
We heard the term Panther throw out there.
Yeah, so the verbiage part varies from team to team. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it means something different. But it's only germane to your team.
Do you still remember some of the verbiage from when you played?
Jet rip, blue slash, 1 man. Nope, not at all. That was a blitz. We came with our safety.
Sharp as ever, Matt Millen.
Yeah.
And Martin goes over the middle to Ryan Manning. That might have been his best throw of the day.
That was a great throw. It was right on time. Manning, nice job catching the ball out in front with his hands. That looked like it's supposed to look. Ball delivered, see out front. That's really well done. Good job, Manning.
Manning with a couple of catches today. Little play action for Martin. Deep down the middle and a wide open man. It's Manning again. Touchdown.
That ball was thrown a little bit behind. Manning did a nice job of coming back to get it and then just use his speed. But good protection. Ball was where it should have been out in front of him a little bit more, but not a bad throw. See how he had to wait for it a little bit, come back underneath by his knee. For those of you at home who are wondering where the coverage is, so is the defense.
Clear busted coverage, and Ryan Manning takes advantage. The first score for Justin Martin today, and some confidence here in the second half of the UCLA transfer. Look, even if it didn't start the way he wanted today in the spring game, he's got the attitude and the work ethic that the coaches are looking for. As Capriati tacks on the extra point, he'll wake up at 4:45, get to the building at 5:30 with the coaches. He does all the right things, and hoping it can come together for him over the summer and into the fall.
They got a strong quarterback room. I don't think there's any question about that.
Former four-star recruit Malik Washington, a four-star coming in as a freshman. And Christian Martin, top 75 quarterback in his class out of Highland Springs High School, all showing positive signs today in a pretty high-scoring spring game so far. 24-21, the white team in front now.
Which brings us to defense. Wherefore art thou, defense?
The inner linebacker, defensive lineman in you is screaming right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of a pass rush. You're not seeing it. And again, I said this earlier kind of jokingly, but it's the truth. So if you either don't have a rusher or your offensive line's really good. So I think you'd rather hope for the latter instead of the former. What you really don't like as a defensive coordinator is having to manufacture pressure. You want somebody who can just win by himself. But if you can't, then you have to start bringing blitzes and trying to manufacture pressure, and then that puts your secondary in not a good spot.
Certainly plenty of learning moments for Ted Monachino's defense today. Pressure up the middle from Ian Thomas, and Washington just throws it away.
Really smart by him. Just get rid of the ball. Malik did a good job. He tried, he got himself some space to be able to work out of, and then just threw it out of bounds. That's what you do.
Good presence for Malik Washington. Again, the star recruit for this class. And it all started with a hashtag, Free Grandma. Let's go to McKella for more.
Yeah, Jack, well, Maryland fans probably have heard the phrase free grandma a couple times now. It all started with a tweet that said, keeping grandma locked up until Malik Washington commits to Maryland. Well, when Malik committed about a week later, he reposted that tweet saying hashtag free grandma. It became a full-blown slogan for Maryland football, and it's kind of become a way for everybody to celebrate a ton of recruits coming to Maryland, especially players from the DMV, guys.
I have a lot of questions about how the cage got there to begin, how she got in there. But, yeah, just as McKella touched on, he circled back and responded to the tweet. It just became a perfect marketing tool. And they even had a photo shoot where he's so far with Malik Washington, Christian Martin, Justin Martin, also throwing his first touchdown pass, a 50-yarder to Ryan Manning moments ago. First down play for Malik Washington, the red team offense just across midfield. Little trickery and a botched pitch.
It's a live ball.
Recovered to the backfield by Octavian Smith.
That was not a good decision. He should have just ate it, and probably in the game he would have.
Let's go to McKella.
Thanks, Jack. Here with Justin Martin. Born and raised in California, what stood out to you about Maryland when choosing to come here?
Really just the opportunity. Coach Locks, he's developed great quarterbacks in the past, and you can go down the list. And it's just a great opportunity to play football. That's all I really looked for when I was trying to pick a school, is just opportunity to play ball for another, 2 years. And, I'm loving my time here.
You mentioned Coach Locks, wanting to develop under him. What are your aspirations for playing here at quarterback and developing as a player?
Obviously, I want to win. I want to win some championships and, play high-level football. He's seen the draft over the last couple of days. You see a lot of guys getting their dreams made, and that's what I want to do here with all my guys. So that's really what I think.
I heard you say that every year there's always a team in football that kind of comes out of nowhere, and why can't it be you guys? Why do you think this team could be the one to do that?
I mean, Maryland always has talent. You just look down the list. They always have talent, and we have the guys here. We have everything that we need. We have a good culture, and we have a good coach. We have a great coaching staff, and I don't feel like that this was an accident. I feel like everybody came here at the right time, and, this is God's plan for us.
Well, thanks so much, Justin. We'll let you get back to it. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Jack.
Yeah, thanks, McKella. Thanks, Justin. A long third down and some yardage gotten back by Washington fading on the throw. Justin Martin playing a little bit better here in the second half, and will be in a tight competition with Malik Washington going into the fall. He's got speed, he's got arm strength, and plenty of promise to try and win the job.
What I liked about him most, he had a good attitude.
Yeah.
And this is the way he was looking at things, the way he explained things, that's good stuff.
Fourth down for Washington here. Over the middle, and a connection with Smith. Got a touchdown from Washington earlier, and a big first down just outside of the 25.
Nice job, nice throw by Malik. No pressure, he's in the pocket by himself. Ball was thrown a little behind, but not much.
Helped him settle down in that pocket of space. And it's 1st and 10. The 26, play action. Washington back to the middle, and Hunt, who spins free. Touchdown.
That was exactly where it had to be. And he had some juice on that throw, too. The defender got there right when the ball did, but the receiver was able to make that play. Allen did a really good job of holding on to it. You're going to watch this. This ball's right where it needs to be, and the hit comes right as the catch is being made. Allen holds on. That's pretty good. So it's easy to see what Loxley's seeing, right? So that's a good position for a coach to be, an offensive coordinator and a head coach to be in, is when you have more than one guy who can play that position.
A first lead for the red team today after back-to-back strikes from Washington. And Houghton with the touchdown. Okay, Malik Washington's looked pretty good today, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think there's any question about it. And he's doing it like he's not surprised. That's what I like.
A lot of moxie.
Yeah, it's maturity is what it is. So been there, done that. That's what he's expected to happen, and that's what's happening because he's been doing it all spring long, which is what Coach Loxley's been telling us.
So much excitement around Malik Washington, and tomorrow a champion will be crowned in the 2025 Big Ten Women's Lacrosse Tournament, presented by DirecTV. Live coverage begins at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Something unique that Mike Loxley does with talented incoming quarterbacks is meet with them during Maryland's season in the fall, and that's what he did with Malik Washington, coming from Archbishop Spalding High School while Washington was still in high school playing his senior season. Roman Jensen with his first snap of the day at quarterback and the handoff. But they would meet every Sunday this past fall to break down Malik's film and also the film of Maryland real time during the season, and he felt that really built a connection between him and Washington and quarterbacks in the past like Tua, Jalen Hurts and company.
That's interesting. He's an incoming freshman.
That's right. After Malik Washington had committed.
Ah, got it.
So throughout the fall.
I I didn't want to out the coaching staff.
Right. Yeah, Malik committing in June, and then throughout this past fall on Sundays, able to meet, break down film together.
That's a big deal. That's a really big deal, and that's again, that's a relationship guy. That's what Mike is. Mike Loxley's a relationship guy. He leans heavy on that. He wants to get to know you really well as a person as well as a player, and pays dividends.
He's known Malik Washington since Malik was in 8th grade. Knew he had something special in the area, and just talking about the talent in the DMV and trying to keep it here. Malik Washington spearheading that effort. Jensen rolling out on 3rd down. Roman Jensen is sacked.
That was a mistake. You should have threw it out of bounds. Don't hold on to it. You're not going to. As he's rolling, he sees the coverage. Just throw it out of bounds.
Keon Flowers on the pressure and the tag out near the sideline. Now Jensen has a white jersey on. Perhaps he's exempt here from the tag out rules. And they will mark him back behind the line of scrimmage at the 33. A Roman Jensen, redshirt freshman from Lewisberry, PA, near Harrisburg, getting in on the action with just under 8 to go. And Flowers the sack. Again, a showcase of some of the depth that Maryland fans might see in the fall. A little bit limited right now because the spring portal just closed yesterday. As this is boomed by Philip Noyes. Fair catch near the 20. It's a little bit thin all around. They'll have more freshmen coming in throughout the summer. A 48-yard punt there, and some of that depth will start to be built back up. Mike Loxley has a lot of optimism for obvious reasons because of the quarterbacks, but you have a mixture of some of the transfers coming in and also some of the second, third options from last year developing within the program. And a favorable schedule to boot in the Big Ten with added experience at the pro level from Ted Monachino and Pep Hamilton at the coordinator spots.
I think Ted would like to see if he could really have a pass rusher, a legit pass rusher. As a coach and a play caller, you hate to be burdened with having to manufacture that. We talked about this before. But when you got a real live one, he does it all by himself.
And D.D. Holmes on the right side has been that a couple of times today. He had back-to-back sacks in the first half. And a flag here, false start. Last between Holmes and Mike Loxley. He knows he's got something. And D.D. Holmes, the redshirt freshman, transfer from Florida State. And the clock under 7 minutes in the 4th quarter. Conventional timing for the final 2, but it'll run outside of that with the red team in front for the first time today. And another flag, something that Pep Hamilton, Mike Loxley staff does not want to see at this point. All right, we saw Buzz Williams, the new Maryland basketball coach, earlier. Deebo Samuel in the house too, the latest Commanders wide receiver staying in town. When he's healthy, he's legit.
Oh, he's really good.
A lot of excitement around the Commanders right now with Jaden Daniels, Deebo coming over, a trip to the NFC Championship game last year. A short run here with Christian Martin at quarterback. Staying up for a long time, Colin Reynolds, the 3rd stringer, redshirt freshman, making the most of it. And 5 running backs on the roster right now. Nolan Ray, Eli Mason not available today. And expect DeJuan Williams, Iverson Howard, and Colin Reynolds getting the carries. Back to Reynolds, who reaches the 35.
Good strong run.
The original line of scrimmage. Louis Swaba, his first year as the running back coach, will like that. On Maryland's offensive staff for the last 5 seasons. The former offensive lineman at Appalachian State. And we reach the 5-minute mark here at CQ Stadium. Third down, Christian Martin, pressure up the middle, fading throw is picked. Ricardo Cooper Jr. down the sideline. And a second turnover, an interception for the defense today.
That was the first mistake that he's done. He just threw that one up. Should have never thrown it. If he was going to throw it out of bounds. You watch, he's looking down the field now. Yeah, there's nobody even there. Maybe he was trying to throw it out of bounds. Give him the benefit of the doubt, but just get it beyond the line of scrimmage and that's it. Live for another day.
Ricardo Cooper Jr. involved at wide receiver and in the return game before this spring, but working in at defensive back and picks up a pick.
So he should have caught it. He was wide open.
That's right. We saw Cooper, and the initial reaction was, oh, he's going to be running the other way. So Christian Martin will reload here after his first mistake today. Oh, he pulls it as it looked like Roman Jensen got decked.
Jensen got drilled. Yeah, so that's kind of unfair since you can't hit the quarterback.
Right. Let's go to McKellar.
Thanks, Shaq, here with Malik Washington. Malik, I can see your entire family in the stands right now. I know it was important to you to stay at home and play at Maryland. Why?
Just for people like that, for reasons like this, my family being able to come out and support me. They've been supporting me my whole life, and just another step in the journey that they're supporting me on.
You said, I'm just a regular guy who's pretty good at throwing a football. What should Maryland fans know about you and your career and what you want to do here at Maryland?
Just going to give it everything I got, really. Everything I do in life, I just put 100% effort into it, whether it's, school or, playing football or just being around my family and friends. Like, I just put all my effort to it, so that's what I'm going to do here.
In the midst of a quarterback battle, but I know you've gotten really close with your fellow quarterbacks and Justin Martin. What's that relationship been like? You said he's like an older brother.
Yeah, he definitely is. He showed me the ropes. He has something that I don't have yet in this experience. Him from being other places and playing in games in the Big Ten. Like, he has just that experience piece that he helps me out with so much. Just little things that coaches may be looking for, ways to prepare for practice, ways to prepare for a game that I just don't know because I haven't been here yet. But he's been amazing helping me with that.
Well, Malik, thanks so much. Excited to watch your career here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jack.
Man, if Malik thinks as fast as he talks, they're in great shape.
Well, you talked about the attitude for Justin Martin. Great attitude and approach there.
Absolutely.
Well.
No, and it's just mature beyond his years, which is exactly what Coach Lockley was telling us. So, yeah, I think that's a keeper. That's a keeper. Those guys who talk fast usually process fast, and that's a good thing for a quarterback.
He's processed it real fast today. A few touchdowns for Malik Washington and Christian Martin. Strong throw over the middle, and Jamari Powell-Watson breaks free. Striding to the end zone. 58-yard touchdown, and the white team goes back in front.
Jamari Powell ran through a tackle. On the other side, poor tackling.
You can't help yourself, the inner defender.
Exactly. Let's take a look at this. There's the catch. Oh, he had a chance to light him up. I'll bet you he pulled off on that one.
Looked like some friendly fire there for the defense, too.
He hit his defender, but if he missed, it looks like he tried to pull off because they're just messing around. You can see right there.
Yeah. A friendly shove from Lakai Rowland. Jamari Powell-Watson's first TD. And the white team going back and forth with Malik Washington, Justin Martin, and the red squad. Hey, the second team offense today has looked fantastic. A lot of depth on that side of the ball. The redshirt freshman from Baltimore City High School. And after the pick, Christian Martin able to respond with a 58-yard touchdown pass. Later tonight, Danny Busboom Kelly makes her Nebraska coaching debut when the Huskers take on Kansas spring volleyball tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Former Louisville head coach back to her alma mater, Danny Busboom Kelly, to take over for John Cook.
The Boom.
Feels like that was a nickname for you when you played.
No. That's my daughter's nickname. Boomer.
All your kids are crushing it right now.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good thanks to their mother.
Justin Martin and the quarterbacks had moments of crushing it so far today. And, you know, it sets us up with an interesting scenario here. It's, again, a mock game and 3:27 to go. We'll see how both quarterbacks, all three quarterbacks, operate in more of an urgent situation, trying to win it. And Justin Martin back for his turn. One touchdown today for the UCLA transfer out of Inglewood High School in Southern California. Martin to throw, pumps, wants it all, down the sideline and over the head of the intended receiver, Smith.
One of two things, either good protection or poor pass rush. I tend to think a little bit here. I don't see a pass rusher anywhere. And so that would be a concern for me, just because, like I said, you have to manufacture one, which means you start getting the blitzing and bringing. It's about a numbers game then. So,
what's been the most impressive thing you've seen out of the defense today?
Out of the defense, they've had good coverage. Now they're playing a lot of zone, but when they match up in man, like when they went into the red zone, they covered them pretty good. They haven't really seen a blown coverage or a wide open guy. So it's a pretty good job by the center of the safeties and the corners and the nickels.
And that is an area where the spring portal didn't really touch for Maryland. Terps through the winter and spring portal windows lost 32 players, but based on what they had going into the spring portal window, pretty much everyone was able to stay.
All right, so now, like I said, you hear me talking about numbers, the same thing that Coach Loxley was saying. They're showing 3, right? You're going to show 3 rushers, which means you're dropping 8 unless they brought a 4th.
Pressure from Samuels, Martin over the middle, and overthrows the tight end Dorian Fleming.
And they tried to man it up, which means you're playing man coverage on the outside all the way through.
Mike Loxley directing what he wants as far as restarting a drive, perhaps, as we're inside of 2 minutes. And Ted Monachino will mix it up. Man, zone, pressure. He called the exotic looks on 3rd down and in the red zone, the French pastry stuff that they'll build throughout the season.
Be careful those French pastries, then they creep up on you. Pretty soon you're going to the doctor for cholesterol problems.
And later today, grab your French pastries to enjoy more spring football excitement when Rutgers hits the field in Piscataway, followed by the reigning Big Ten champion Oregon Ducks in action in Eugene. It's all still ahead, only in the Big Ten Network, the Fox Sports app. And the final spring game for us here on Big Ten Network is Washington coming up next week. But out to Rutgers next. Maryland 1-8 in the Big Ten last year, 4-8 overall. A bit of a step back after 3 consecutive bowl wins. They beat Auburn, they beat NC State.
So what this team is going to lack initially, and it's true in every team, but this one in particular, because you got a young guy or a new guy coming in at quarterback and a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, is confidence. Confidence is one of those things that when you gain it, you become better. And a confident player is way better than just a guy starting at the beginning, not really understanding what they are. So once you start to know yourself and gain confidence in yourself, you change as a player.
Iverson Howard wrestled down as we're inside of 2 minutes, and Washington back on the field. How quickly did it take for you to feel that kind of confidence when you were at Penn State?
So I started from my freshman year. It took me 3 games before I started. So I would say it took 3 games. Sometimes it takes longer than that. It just depends on the person. But Penn State was not a dominant team when I got there. Our freshman class was more dominant than the guys who were there. So it was kind of different.
Not to date you here, but of course you went on to great success in the late 70s. Malik Washington on 3rd down. And to Howard out of the backfield. Enough for a 1st down. Howard goes down.
Flags.
With flags coming out.
Yeah, he pushed him after he stepped out. That's why they did it.
Late shove from Michael Harris. Haven't seen many situations like that today.
No.
Little overzealous.
Well, yeah, that was too far. I could see if it was, right on the line, but he was already into the sideline.
A little unnecessary from the junior out of Apopka, Florida, and a career game at Indiana last year with 10 tackles. All right, so under 90 seconds here. Now 1st down for Malik Washington inside of the 40.
Reds down by 3.
Let's see if they can tie it up or go for the win here.
If they tie it up, coaches will be mad.
That's right. Howard with a short gain on the check down from Washington. Yeah, they're looking at a pitch count of about 60, 70 plays overall today.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Probably a bit more than that we've seen. But they're trying to get the reps in without getting anybody hurt.
We had 1 guy limp off. That was it.
And that was Kiari James earlier in the game. 2nd and long for Washington at the 36.
Brought pressure.
Had enough time to find Manning, who nearly spun free. Another chunk gain near the 20.
That was a good throw. That might be I don't know about his best throw, but it was nice in the pocket. He had pressure, he felt it, he moved, and then delivered a strike. Really well done.
Washington with urgency, approaching the 1-minute mark. 15-yard pickup down to the 21. Freshman on the move. Already a good day today. Going to the end zone and over the head of Manning.
That was good position by the defender. Get between the defender and the thrower so that it forces the ball to be high.
Braden Lee on the coverage. Highly thought of redshirt freshman who dealt with injury last year. Walkie-talkie play into Mike Loxley's ear so he knows what's coming on 2nd down. And Pep Hamilton said, I'll be up at the booth today.
Pep will do a really good job. I've known him for a long time. He's been around. He's excellent. He's an excellent play caller. He'll be a better play caller with this team as he gets to know each player individually and know exactly what he can do. And then some guys get hot and some guys fade. So you got to be on top of all that.
Short carry for Howard, and looks like a timeout here with 3rd and long, 51 seconds left. Pep Hamilton is trying to bring more of a run presence late in the season and that kind of toughness on the offensive side, which they quite frankly lacked late in the season last year.
Yeah, and you need it in the Big Ten, right? Because you're going to places that are cold, that are not conducive to throwing the football. and you've got to be able to pound the football and be physical. And that's kind of the MO of the entire Big Ten anyway. And so if you don't do that, you can count on one hand the amount of games that you're going to have that's nice weather. So you have to prepare for the cold and prepare for tough conditions. And the only way to do that and be successful is you have to develop your run game.
And it's not going to be like this. Some sunshine right now when you go to Happy Valley in November.
Oh, yeah. You go Northwestern in November. You go to, I mean, Chicago's cold all the time. Wind blowing off the lake. Penn State's no day at the beach. Ohio State's no day at the beach. It's just, you know, Michigan State, Michigan. Yeah, it's a tough conference to play in that regard.
So 3rd and long, 51 seconds. Red team down 3. Washington at the controls. Pumps, pressure, wide open man, and a perfect throw under duress.
Don't know if that would have been a sack. That could have been a sack.
It was close, but Sean Williams on the touchdown catch for the lead with 45. And Mike Loxley saying it might have been a sack.
That's what I think.
He might agree with you.
Lox is right. Let's take a look for ourselves. He goes through, he slowed down. Oh yeah, that's a sack. Now, having said that, that's still good composure until right there, until he told him it wasn't.
He's saying, no way, I got it off.
Exactly, but he didn't. That's the right call.
He can't believe it. The inner competitor going against his head coach.
That's funny.
So now a field goal under pressure for Capriati to try and tie.
That was a hard call for Loxley because he's an offensive guy.
That's right.
But he's an honest offensive guy.
He's looking at the whole picture here. A timeout for the defense before the 46-yard try from Capriati. Again, Jack Howes, the kicker for the last couple of years, transferring in the spring portal. So Mike Loxley will get to see how Capriati operates under pressure. A lot of pressure from the jump here.
Yeah, so he's right there. He's dead. And that ball wouldn't have gotten off. But however, he does throw it. He's wide open. Nice throw. And it's an after the fact. he's jumping up and down, touchdown.
Keyshawn Flowers got to him. And now it's Capriati to try and tie it from 46 with 45 on the clock. No rush. And he
somebody put the ooga booga on him.
Iced him with the timeout, and Capriati not able to knot it up. Getting support from his teammates after.
Looks like he called it right there.
Yep. That'll do it. But the story of the day, the white team's perspective, Christian Martin, the third stringer, expected third stringer, going into the fall with a massive day on the offensive side, and Malik Washington in his first game of sorts at Maryland. Very impressive moments throughout the afternoon.
I think you could be happy about the entire quarterback room. I think they all played pretty darn well. Played with poise. They played smart football, and they were accurate.
Justin Martin had a touchdown in the second half as well. And let's go to McKellar.